Hello, welcome to the Magic Music Toolbox. I'll be your host, Jeremy Richards. The first thing we're going to do today, we're going to hop right into it. I'm going to teach you the method that allowed me to accelerate at playing the piano fairly quickly, and it's called using the number system. Okay, let's go straight to the piano. Let's take the key of C major. Okay, C major. Now, in the key of C major, there's 7 unique tones, and once it gets to the octave, that's 8, or the 1 all over again. Now, the first tone of that major scale, we're going to call it the 1. That's the note of C. The second tone is D. We're going to call that the 2. Second tone, or the third tone, excuse me, is E. We're going to call that the 3. Fourth tone is F. Fifth tone is G. Sixth tone is A. Seventh tone is B. And then we're back to the 1. Okay, or the octave. Okay, now it's very important to know those numbers because it doesn't matter what key that we're playing in, that number relationship never changes. Okay, so it's an easy way to learn how to play the piano on all 12 keys and begin to understand progressions and how songs are put together by knowing that number system. Now, in that key of C, we construct a major scale by a series of half steps and whole steps. A half step simply means we go from one key to another key with no keys in between. We call that a half step. Remember, no key, one key to another key with no keys in between. A whole step is simply one key to another key with a key in between. Okay? So there's a key in between. It's that simple. Alright? So to construct a major scale in any key, you simply follow this pattern of whole steps and half steps. Just play your first note of that scale. In this case, it happens to be C. So we start on C. We go to the second tone, which is going to be a whole step up. D. Let's go up another whole step. Remember, we're calling that a whole step because there's a key in between. Okay. Then here we have a half step from E to F because there's no key in between. So let's start that again. C. We start on the root, the 1. Go up a whole step to the 2. A whole step to the 3. A half step to the 4. A whole step to the 5. A whole step to the 6. A whole step to the 7. And then there's a half step in between the 7 and the octave, the 8 or the 1, okay? So between the 3 and the 4, you have a half step. Between the 7 and the octave, the 8, you have a half step, okay? And the rest are whole steps. So start on the root, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Doesn't matter what key you play that in, it will create a major scale. Now, very important, the first tone, like I said, is the 1. We have the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, back to the 1. Okay? Now, on the first tone of a major scale, the first chord will be a major chord. Okay? You don't have to understand every single thing about theory right now. Just know that the first tone is a major scale. We're going to get deeper into this as the lessons progress. Let's just start there. The first tone, third tone, and fifth tone of a major scale gives us a major C major chord. Okay? Now the second tone is going to be minor. Okay? These are just basic chords, but we need to learn these. Okay? So we have the second tone, the fourth tone, and the sixth tone to create a minor chord there on the 2. The third tone of the scale, that will also be a minor chord. Okay? E, G, and B in the key of C. That's a third tone, fifth tone, and the 7. The 3, the 5, and the 7 of a major scale create a minor chord. Okay? The fourth tone will be major. We have an F major chord there. The 4, the 6, and the 1. That creates F major. Then we have G. That's also going to be major. That's the 5. The 5 will be major. Okay? We have G, B, and D are 5, 7, and 2. Gives us a major chord. The 6th tone of a scale will be minor. We have the 6, the 1, and the 3. Okay? It's a minor chord there on the 6. Okay? On the 7, we have a diminished chord. Okay? And that's the 7, the 2, and the 4. And we're back at the 1. Okay? So again, the first chord, major, second chord, minor, third chord, minor, fourth chord or chord major, fifth chord major, sixth chord is minor, seventh chord diminished, and back to the one. Okay? Now, very important to know that. Now, that's how can we use that and learn a song? Something super simple. Happy Birthday. Okay, a simple progression that you can learn is a song like Happy Birthday, and let's learn that song using the number system. So you have. Okay, real easy song. Let's take a look at that. What do we have? We started on the 1. Okay, now I'm playing my melody up here, but let's just look at the chords there. Let's just look at the chord progression. Okay, I'm on the 1. The first chord is a 1. If I didn't even know the melody at all, and I just wanted to play the bass notes with the melody. Okay, then I went to a 5. So to play Happy Birthday, you start on the 1, which most songs start on the first tone of the scale, general rule of thumb. Normally start on the 1, which in this case we're in the key of C, so it's C. Then we go Happy Birthday to. When we hit U, it goes to the 5. See that? First tone, fifth tone. Even if you don't know exactly all the note names to every key, if you start on a key, use the system I told you to build a major scale, and then know your number system, you can still play this song in any key. So we go from the 1, birthday, to U, 5. We stay there. Back to the 1. Okay, that's half the song right there, just with 2 chords, the 1 and the 5. Okay, then we're still there. Okay, on the 1 again. Then we go to the 4. See that? Remember, the 4 was a major chord. We've used all major chords so far, just 3 chords, the 1, the 5, and now the 4. Okay, then we finish it up. We're on the 2 chord. Remember, the 2 chord is a minor chord. Okay, to the 5. Super easy. So what's that progression? 1, 5. 1, 5, 5, 1. 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. And you're going to learn a lot of songs, they end with that. Probably several hundred of your favorite songs end with at the end of the verses. Normally that's how you turn the song. We call it a turnaround, which is where the verse is about to end and we're going to end it and turn it back around and come back around to the next part of the song or the next verse or the chorus or whatever it might be. Okay, so that's why these numbers are so important, because you can get ready to learn a song and just understand the progression. You can look at a chord chart, or you can kind of listen to the song and learn how to play by ear and know that, oh, it's following this particular progressions. And a lot of your favorite popular songs are following the exact same progressions. Okay, so once you learn this number system, it will cut down your learning time and your learning curve and allow you to learn these songs much faster and have an understanding of how to navigate through the music and have control over what you're doing. Okay, and it cut out a lot of the frustration of trying to figure out what's going on. And when I first started playing, it felt like, man, I have to there's so much going on. It feels like it's just an endless amount of information to try to learn when I'm learning these songs, but it's really not. There's 12 keys. There's only so many chords, and they're arranged particular ways. Yeah, you can get creative and you create a lot of different things because there's different rhythmic things you can do and different devices you can use to become creative, of course. But a lot of these songs are following the same pattern. Okay, it's in the major scale. Most of the songs that you hear are in the major key or a minor key. And if you know your major scales, you're going to already know your minor key. That's another lesson. But once you learn your major keys, you pretty much already know the minor keys, the relative minor. Okay, so stay tuned. The next lesson, we're going to go into major scales and minor scales, and I'm going to show you how those relate to one another. And once you've learned the major scales, you already know the relative minor. All right, so take that information, go ahead and learn the song "Happy Birthday," and with that information, you probably might be able to figure out some other simple songs that you already know right now. Okay, so hey, we'll see you next time at the Magic Music Toolbox. Enjoy.